Hey there, pre-matriculants. Welcome to Educate. Let us do slope elements today. So basically, before we get to the slope elements types, we have to look first at what is a slope. So basically, a slope just describes how steep or how gentle the gradient is. So you kind of get the sense of something steep and something that is gentle. All of that, we say it is known as the slope of a certain landform. So now we have got three main types of slope that you can look at. We have got first a regular slope represented by this image. So basically in a regular slope, we say that the gradient, it is equal at all points. So it means that the gradient is the same at all points of the slope. To those doing those mathematics stuff, they definitely know that it's a straight line. Basically, it's a straight line. Like in this image, you can see that in this image of a regular slope, the gradient at one point here, it is the same as the gradient at one point. So it's just a straight line. Okay, the landform is kind of making a straight line. So we say that is a regular slope. Then we have got a concave slope. So in a concave slope, the gradient changes. First, the gradient at the top part of the slope, it is steep. So we have got a steeper gradient at the top of the slope. How can we see that in this diagram? You can see that in this diagram here, at the top parts of the slope, it is very steep. It means that even if you are going to stand here on top of the mountain, you are going to fall easily because it is very steep. The gradient is a steep gradient at the top. But the more you go down, or as you descend down the slope, so if we continue going down the slope in this way, you can see that the gradient is becoming gentle and gentle and gentle. So it's becoming gentle gradually. So basically we say that slope is known as a concave slope. So a concave slope has got a steep gradient at the top, but it has got a gentle gradient at the bottom of the slope. So the gradient is not necessarily equal like the one in the regular slope. Now we also have got a convex slope. So in a convex slope, we have got a gradient that is gentle at the top. So we have got a gentle gradient at the top, and then we have got a steep gradient at the bottom of the slope. So if we look at a convex slope in this particular image here, the gradient is a bit gentle, I meant. So the gradient is a bit gentle at the top. You can see that when you are at the top, you would just kind of be able to just sit there and watch the moon or watch the sun or something like that because it is gentle at the top. But if you go down, the more you continue moving down with the slope, you can see that the gradient is becoming very steep, such that if you were to stand here, you're just going to fall because the gradient is steep. So that is known as a convex slope, because in a convex slope, at the top, we have got a gentle gradient, and at the bottom, we have got a steeper gradient. This is the best ways of representing this using images. Now, let us now look at the slope elements. So we have got four main slope elements. So there are four main slope elements that we find on a hilly landform. So basically, a hill looks like this. This is just an image, a typical diagram that you get representing a hilly landscape. So this is a hill, the top of the hill, and then you are going down, you are going down, you are going down, you are going down, and then there you have it. So now we start at the top first. We look at the slope element that is at the top. The slope element here at the top here, which is labeled slope element E, it is known as the crest. So basically the crest is the slope element that we find at the top of a hilly landform. So the crest is actually the toppest part of the hill. So it is just this region here. It's just this toppest part of the hill. This region is known as the crest. So now the crest has got a convex shape. Remember, I've already talked about the convex and concave. So it simply means that it is gentle at the top, but then it becomes steeper as you go down. That's why we say it is a convex slope. So the crest is a convex slope. And then the main geomorphological process that takes place at the crest, it is weathering. Remember, basically weathering, we have got the breaking down of rocks. So basically the rocks are being broken down into smaller stones in a sense. Okay, that's the simplest way of putting it. So the rocks are being broken down, or the rocks are being made to be smaller chunks of stones. So basically at the crest, that is the main event that is occurring. That is the main geomorphological process Because whenever they ask this question, they'll be like, name the main geomorphological process. They are referring to weathering. And the other process that occurs at the crest or at the top of the mountain, it is soil creep. When we're talking about soil creep, we're basically talking about the soil creeping, the soil kind of moving. So basically here at the top here, we have got soil that is just falling and falling and falling. So it's just literally as the word says. And then now we look at the second portion of the mountain from the top, which is the cliff. So now the second one is known as the cliff. It is labeled by F in this particular diagram. And then just to highlight it, the cliff, it is just this point here. This is the cliff. You can see that the cliff looks sort of like vertical. It looks straight. It looks like straight up. It's a vertical, it's kind of a vertical slope. So the other name for a cliff, it is a free face slope, or you can say it's a scarp slope. All right. Do not confuse this to the scarp slope in the topography associated with inclined strata. Here, when we are talking about the slope elements, the scarp slope, it is referring to the cliff, or you can say it's the free face slope. So this slope, it is very steep. You can see that it is almost vertical. You can see that it is almost vertical. It's like a straight. You can see that if we can label here, it is very straight. It is more like it is a vertical slope. So it is very steep. It is a very steep slope. It looks vertical. And then the main event that is occurring there, it is mass movement. Remember, we've already said that at the crest, there's a lot of weathering. So it just means that at the crest, big rocks are being broken down into smaller stones at the crest, at the toppest part of the mountain. So when those when those rocks are now broken down into smaller sediments or into smaller stones, those stones will move down here at the what? At the cliff. So that's why we say there's a mass movement that is occurring. So the main geomorphological process occurring at the cliff, it is mass movement, because you can see that it is almost vertical. Those stones cannot just sit there. Those stones have to do what? They have to move down. They have to be moved down here, because basically if the stones are being broken down at the crest, those smaller stones have to move down here at the cliff. So the main geomorphological process occurring, it is mass movement. Then we've got the third slope, which is slope G in this diagram, and it is known as the talus slope. So you can say it's the talus slope, or you can say it is the debris slope, or you can say it is known as the scree slope. So it has got it's got three other names basically. So it is the talus, or you can say it is the debris slope, or you can say it is the scree slope. So this scree slope, it is basically a smooth slope. So it is very smooth. When you say that it is smooth, it just simply means that it is not made up of so many rocks. So it is just a smooth slope. And this smooth slope, the main geomorphological process occurring there, it is deposition. So you can see that the talus slope, it is not that steep. It is not that steep. It's kind of gentle. This is the talus slope. You can see it is kind of gentle in a sense. So the fact that it is kind of gentle, it makes it a good place for the rocks to be deposited there. Why? What is deposition in the first place? Remember that the rocks have been weathered on top of the mountain at the crest. There was weathering, and then those rocks were falling here at the cliff. That is mass movement. And then here, those rocks will now accumulate at the talus slope. So they will accumulate. So that is deposition. So it just means that these rocks which have fallen from the top of the mountain, they will just be accumulating here on top of what? On top of the talus slope. So it is just basically or generally a smooth slope. So the main geomorphological process occurring at the talus, it is the deposition. Okay. And then now the last slope element that we have, it is slope element H, which is the pediment. So the pediment, it is the last slope that we have, and it is concave shaped. Remember the crest, we said it is convex, and now the pediment, it is concave shaped. Remember, when we have got a concave shape, it just simply means that it is steep at the top and then it is gentle at the bottom. So you can see that basically at the beginning of the pediment is sort of more steeper, but as you go down with the pediment, it becomes gradually gentle. So basically it is a concave slope. So it is basically a what? A concave slope. That is the shape. And then the main geomorphological process that is likely to happen at the pediment, it is erosion. And specifically, this is erosion by running water. Okay, it's erosion by running water. Okay, so basically the pediment does not have any rocks because the rocks, remember, they are basically being deposited here at the talus. Okay, the rocks that have been weathered at the top, at the crest, they are being deposited at the talus slope. So the pediment won't have any rocks. It will be just made up of pure soil, and then the most erosion that is likely to happen there, or the most common geomorphological process, it is erosion by running water. And then now just in between G and H, in between the pediment and the talus slope, there is a little break line that is known as a nick point. So basically you can see that here, this is the talus, which is G, and then this is the pediment, which is H. So this dotted line, it is representing what we say is known as a what? As a nick point. So the nick point is more like a sharp change in gradient. So it just means it's a sharp change in gradient. But here in grade 11, we don't really define it in that way. We can just say it is the small break between the what? Between the talus and the pediment. So a nick point, this point where the talus meets the pediment, it is known as the nick point. So it's just a small break between the talus and the pediment. And then now, since we've got these slopes, we need to know their significances to us humans. How can we actually use those slopes to be able to benefit us or to be able to bring something to us in our lives? So basically, there are quite a couple of significances of slope elements to human activities. We can start there with the cliff. The crest is not likely significant for us. We cannot actually use it to do many things because remember that the crest, there's the main process occurring there, it is weathering. And when there's a lot of weathering, there are a lot of just rocks which are being broken down. Nothing, it's not really a stable environment for us to do anything. Now, look at the cliff. The cliff, remember, I said that it is more like a vertical slope whereby there is a lot of mass movement. So the soil at the cliff, it is infertile, number one. So the cliff doesn't have any fertile soil. And then the gradient is also very steep. Remember, I've already said that this almost looks like a vertical slope. So the gradient is very steep and the soil there is also infertile. So this actually limits most commercial activities such as farming. You cannot farm on a place that is steep like that. Come on, guys. Can you like plant the crops that will grow this way? Like this is a crop, this is a tree, and it will grow horizontally like this. It's impossible in any way, in no way. It's whatever English, but in no, it's very impossible. So basically here, the cliff has got infertile soil, and the other thing, the cliff has got a steeper gradient, so it limits most commercial activities such as agricultural activities there. But it can be of significance to us because we can do a couple of recreational activities such as rock climbing, as well as all of those mountain hiking stuff like that. So basically when you go to tours, maybe you kind of take a tour with your family, you know, maybe in the next 5 years when you've got money, you kind of take a tour with your family, and then you want to do some rock climbing, maybe like climb the rocks, like literally that, or you want to do some mountain hiking. You can go to a place like this because it is very good for tourism, it is very good for hiking, it is very good for all those recreational activities. So it can be of significance to us as humans, but it is not really safe in a sense because remember that there is a lot of there's a lot of mass movement there. It is not really safe to do that, but it can work for us to do a couple of recreational activities. But as for commercial activities such as agriculture and all of that, it cannot happen easily due to the steep gradient and the soil that is infertile. At the talus, it is dangerous for us to do any activity on it. So remember, this talus, the main process occurring there is deposition. Remember, the main geomorphological process occurring at the talus, it is the what? It is deposition. So it just means that the rocks, they are being deposited here. The rocks that have been weathered at the top, they are being deposited here at the talus slope. So basically, when there's a lot of deposition there, it becomes very dangerous for us to do many activities. So it becomes a bit less significant for us. So basically here, it is very dangerous for humans to do any activities due to the rock falls from the cliff. So basically the cliff, remember there are rocks that are falling there, and then those rocks will fall on the talus. So if you want to kind of do activities, commercial activities or economic activities at the talus, you have got many limitations there. You may try to build your house, but your house is going to be crashed down even when you're still building it. So there's no possible way, because there are rocks that are continuously falling from the top that have been weathered at the crest. Now we look at the pediment. The pediment can be of significance indeed, because it is more like a user-friendly slope. It is very easy to use. Remember, I've said that the pediment does not have any rocks, because basically the rocks are being deposited at the talus. So this makes it a very, very, very significant slope. That's the most significant slope of all the slope elements that we have got, of all the 4 slope elements. So the pediment, it is a flat slope. So it is a flat slope, just simply means that it has got a gentle gradient. So this gentle gradient is very, very, very useful, because remember, in a place that has got a gentle gradient, you are able to do commercial activities such as farming. All right, if I can try here and plant my trees, yes, the trees are going to grow in this way. I don't know why I would be planting trees in this world, but basically, let's just say I want to do afforestation and then I plant trees. Yes, I can plant them because the gradient is kind of gentle, because the pediment is just a flat slope. It is not, it is just has got a gradual slope. It's just gradual especially at the bottom parts. Okay, so it allows for most commercial activities. It is easily accessible. There are no rocks that are falling there. It is very safe to use, as well as construction as well. You can do a couple of constructions here at the pediment. You can try to build your houses there. You can build your houses peacefully as well. There are people who reside, or people who stay at the bottom of the mountains or at the pediment of the mountains. So basically, it is user friendly. You can work with it. And the other thing, you can say that the soil there is of good quality. So basically, the pediment has got good quality soil as well. So it just simply means that the soil at the pediment, it is more fertile. Alright, so there is more fertile soil, there are no rocks, there are no disruptions, the gradient is flat, you can do most activities, and this makes the pediment the most significant slope of all the 4 slope elements. So thank you very much, Pre-Matriculants, for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends to also stay tuned.